Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin Trade. And in this episode here, I'm going to talk about something known as arbitrage. And not that, okay, I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about how Bitcoin having no face value is now that the US dollar is pegged to Bitcoin, and this would be the face value of US dollar for one Bitcoin, right? And I'm wondering how legal that is, how far we can push the legality of that number that floats around, because Bitcoin has no face value. The US dollar has a face value that has to be accepted legally. So I'm going to play around with this idea, and you guys let me know what you think and how you feel about it, and what kind of ideas that you can come with when using this financial instrument. So let's take a look here, and I'm trying to remember. The whole point of arbitrage, right, is let's say, for example, a different market, different price, right? If I was going to buy any coins, I'd buy it at this price, or anywhere around that price, maybe even around Bitstamp price. It doesn't matter, because there's no face value to Bitcoin. Ideally, people would want to sell it at the highest price, or even higher. It doesn't really matter, because again, Bitcoin has no face value, but the US dollar does. That will always have a face value, and that legally binds it to that price. So I'm wondering, when I perform and remember, arbitrage is nothing more than instantaneously buying and selling something in the same or a different market, but transacting instantaneously when you do a buy or sell. And that's just the speed of technology. That's all that is. A little hard to do it before, because of the physical world. And then I guess that's where the concept of paper money came in. Kind of ease that transaction from physical to not so physical. But again, it was still a physical property in the real world, so still a little harder to move around. But with Bitcoin and electric money now, electronic currency, like real legal tender currency. So if you have an account, whatever exchange, if you ever noticed that all these accounts are not in America, have you noticed that? So you kind of find that interesting, because the ones that are in America, whatever rate or price or formula they choose, the fact that they're in America, they have to accept that price as a face value of Bitcoin, right? I'm pointing right here, like as if Bitcoin would be right here, and then this is the value of US dollar. So if you think about it, is this price real, or is this price real? Is this price real? You have to consider yourself, are these even numbers are even valid? I don't know. It's something that I got to ask myself, because of course the whole point of this is that you're trying to make a gain either in Bitcoin or US dollars. So as I mentioned before, the money printing that's going on, this is a result of some of the money printing. And so that's where the value of the Bitcoin is, $940. So anyways, let me see here. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? I talked about Sorry about that. I get lost in thought a lot. Anyways, well, um, I guess that's it. So I'll just go to a chart analysis and see if what I can tell you here. So I'm looking at the price, and it's gone back down to the support line, and that's just the way the price is moving. It's getting closer and closer, but if you see my last episode here, which wasn't that far off, I haven't moved in that much timeline, but you'll notice that it does the same thing here. So we're getting really close to figuring out what's happening. If it can maintain this, I guess there's some stability here, but it seems like let it focus here. It seems like it's just stabilizing and hasn't moved. So I don't know if that means it's taking a break, no one's trading, what's going on. But this is a Bitstamp, and like I said, Bitstamp is for a lot of the miners seem to use this, as well as merchants. They like this. I think that's why you're seeing more of a stabilizing price range. Now Bitsy is a little different, because I'm looking at this, and that resistance line is a little bit, it's higher. So if I look at Bitsy, I think there's more potential, and this is what I love about arbitrage and being able to trade in open markets. I'm looking at this, and I see maybe there's really some potential here for value, and because you're looking at 800 and the top is 900, there's $100 value here versus, and then when I look at Bitstamp, let me zoom in here a little bit more. Maybe a little bit, see if I can get in the 4 hour. Yeah. Okay, so right here, you'll see it's only, because now this is just looking at maybe how someone would trade on a stock. Okay, I'm not saying this is scientific or it's going to be that price. All right, this is what people do. This is what people trade. This is how they think, and this is I guess the purest form of market, and buying and selling on that market. This is the purest form of it. Kind of weird, but here we are trading it. So that's I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm just saying this is what a trader might think, and depending on which exchange they may trade at. Because remember, you can move your Bitcoin from different exchanges where you think you can make the most gain. Now I'm in it for the Bitcoins, so this is how someone who's going long and trying to capture existing Bitcoins out in the market, this is how a person would trade. Okay, there could be some ladies out there too. Some of those ladies are very good at trading. So this is another thing that I look at. Okay, is I'll look at where the price is. Price is at 811. So it's at 811, and then it's only got $50 to move. All right, but depends. It could be $50 worth of Bitcoins for me versus $100 worth of Bitcoins. You see what I'm saying? So if you're trying to get Bitcoins, this may be something that you may want to take advantage of from, oh well, sorry, it defocused. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is something you may want to take advantage of because remember, people think you're buying Bitcoins. If you're long Bitcoin, you're really buying and selling the US dollar. Alright, so there's some good opportunity here to get some Bitcoin gain because you'll be getting gains in US dollar to buy into the Bitcoin again. So anyways, so there's some different ways of looking at trades and charts, and I've been mostly trading over at Mt. Gox. Let me see here. Let's get another chart here. Look at this. So because I on the 15-minute charts, I like the bands, and even on the 1 hour, I like it. It just, for me, reads a lot better. I understand it. Okay, but it doesn't mean I have to only exclusively trade at Mt. Gox. All right. So once you get your profited Bitcoins or profited US dollars, since I'm dealing with US dollars, you can move that around in a different market, and then you can move, once you establish some, I guess, positive flow in there, you can also move around to different exchanges, and that's a way of kind of also playing another trade. I mean, this trade can go on top of trades on top of other trades. It's kind of really that dynamic. I don't know if this is something you really want to get into that heavy, but this is when you start going international. Okay, this is when you start playing with other international players, with different exchanges, working it that way. Because, like I said, if you, I'm not sure on Mt. Gox, but I know Mt. Gox has several different paired exchange that they do. Now, here's the interesting thing is, I was wondering if I converted my Bitcoins into a Japanese traded Mt. Gox account, would that, yen to Bitcoin, is that legal tender? Because that's where Mt. Gox is. It's in Japan. So when and I'm very fortunate that I have a spouse who is also Japanese, so a Japanese citizen. So I was wondering if that's the case, and that Bitcoin represents that yen and whatever, but it's in that country, is that legally binding? I was wondering if I can take a physical possession of the actual money, the fiat currency. So that's another idea to play around with. Like, for example, the pound would be for Bitstamp. So if someone was able to have an account, a legal, valid account, in the UK for British pounds, and they converted, I'm assuming that Bitstamp would have a pound exchange. But my point is, whatever country that exchange is at, if you can convert your Bitcoins to the legal tender of that country, which the exchange is at, is that legally binding, where if you go in, they say, hey, this is the face value of the money, hand it over, would they have to do it? That's going to be very interesting. So I don't know. Maybe I'll test it out. I think I can test that theory out over at Mt. Gox. My daughters are dual citizenship, so that could be a way as well. That might be very interesting. And again, this is not money laundering. This is not, I'm not a money transmitter. I'm literally, I'm an investor. I'm a user. So this opens up a lot of possibilities here now. So just want to share that with you. Another trade idea that you can do. I mean, this is not limited to just buying and selling like illegal drugs or anything. This is something that you can really do legitimately, and it really does. You are really doing something. All right. Good chance that a foreign currency could become real money into your hands. So, and I just want to talk real quick. There is an exchange that you could use. It's not really an exchange. It's more of a bank. I would consider it like a coin bank, and that would be Coinbase. I do have an account there, and you know, they have their price at which they recognize one Bitcoin as being the face value of X amount of dollars. And I have to tell you, I've done it there, and the money's real at Coinbase. I mean, I've put in a little. I think it was like a $200-300, maybe $100 or something, whatever, just to see if it worked. And yeah, it takes about 2 days, but it shows up in your bank account. So it's real. People ask me that, you know, when I talk about trading Bitcoins, is the money real? Is it real? And my answer is yes. The money that you put into it, it's real. It is 100% U.S. dollar instrument of debt. All right, that you're trading for a Bitcoin that has no face value. Okay, but that's what makes it appreciate in value, because it has no face value. Like your house has no face value. It has an address, but has no face value. Your business has no face value. Gold has, well, I guess you could try to stamp something or print something, but ultimately it does not have any legal face value. But the U.S. dollar in America does have a face value, and so when you convert it back, that's the price. Well, if I could get anybody to pay that price. Anyways, so I hope this helps you on different trades. I mean, this is a little more advanced in trading, but you know, at some point you're gonna get to this point where you will be doing trading internationally, and possibly even purchasing real assets in another country. I mean, that's the thing about Bitcoin trading is it's not just on a computer where you're buying and selling cows and sheep and grass and all that. You can actually you know, real life in almost real time. I wouldn't say it's real time, but it's faster than what it was, that you could be really buying and even using the assets or commodities that you purchase. So that's what makes it very different. It's not just stuck in the digital world or in your computer. You could bring it out in real life. So anyways, I think I talked enough. I'll save some more for another episode. If you can, please leave a comment, like, dislike, or even video response. And as always, stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.